My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And our videos are brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. And ODDSJAM. ODDSJAM.com has the fastest real-time data from all the sports books, and it helps you spot discrepancies and make sure that you hit your spots and get the best odds available for every single fight and every single sporting event. Check them out now at oddsjam.com. Next up, at UFC Columbus, we have the main card opener. We have Ilir Latifi taking on Aleksei Oleinik. Ilir Latifi, 15-8 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, and he's coming off a split decision win about 9 months ago. Aleksei Oleinik, 59-16. 2-3 in
Isn't that so crazy?
5.
Every time I see that record, I'm like, there's no way that's accurate. There's no way that's accurate.
That is... Because, okay, wow, he has 16 losses, but just extrapolate that anybody else's record out, and they're not like 59-16 is a fantastic win ratio. Anyway,
especially because he's lost like 5 of his last 7 or something.
Well, he's 2-3 in his last 5, and he's riding a 3-fight losing streak. Aleksei Oleinik, he's most famous for being in the video that opens up our videos.
Want picks.
We want picks. But he's also known to be a ridiculously experienced grappler who has a very high finish rate. His chin is not where you would want it to be at his age. His cardio is not great. His wrestling could use some work. But man, he could submit anyone from anywhere. It's just very ugly to get it to the ground. I made this comparison before, and I'll make it again. He's just an old Paul Craig. That's all this guy is. Super dangerous. Can't really control where the fight goes, but if it gets to the ground, you're in trouble. And Ilir Latifi is a wrestler who was a 205-pounder, but this is his 3rd fight at heavyweight. He throws big punches to set up takedowns, and from there he tries to stay busy, but he can slow down later in the fight. His first fight at heavyweight was against Derek Lewis, and while he did get a few takedowns, he couldn't hold Derek down, but it was impressive because he lost a decision. He wasn't knocked out, which you would assume he was. But in a 15-minute fight, he landed, wait for it. Jacob, how many strikes do you think Ilir Latifi landed in a 15-minute fight with Derek Lewis?
13.
5 in a 15-minute fight.
And that was those were the ones where
he had 3 takedowns.
Yeah, he threatened submissions, and Derek Lewis was like, nope, I'm going to stand up now, please excuse me. And literally just like shoved them off of him with no technique.
It was crazy. Anyway, it's easy to say that Aleksei Oleinik, he's 2-3 in his last 5. He's on a 3-fight skid. But let's look at those 3 losses. He lost to Spivak, who looked phenomenal in his last fight. Chris Daukaus, who's main eventing this, and Derek Lewis, who, is just flatlining people left and right. Obviously, he's coming off a loss there, but it's Derek Lewis. All of those people would beat Latifi as well. So you can't just look at Aleksei Oleinik's recent record and say, nah, he sucks. All of those people he lost to will beat Ilir Latifi. The biggest problem here is that Oleinik is almost 45 years old. He's like 44 in 9 months. And heavyweights, yes, they can have longer careers than some of the lighter weight classes. It's just very hard to back a 45-year-old. Latifi is coming off a bounce-back win over Tanner Boser after his own 3-fight skid. He only landed 10 strikes in that fight. And considering he had 2 takedowns, that's so ridiculously low. This is another spot where my brain and my gut are completely split. My brain is saying you can never, ever pick a 45-year-old to win a fist fight. But my gut is saying that Oleinik is definitely more dangerous. He's an actual heavyweight where Ilir Latifi is not. And I got to go with my gut on this one. I think Ilir Latifi is just too low volume. 5 strikes in one fight, 10 strikes in too low volume to be a real problem on his feet. He's going to look to wrestle. He's going to take Aleksei Oleinik down, and that's exactly where Oleinik wants to be. I'm backing a 45-year-old. Jakey boy, what do you think?
Listen, we've had some great success lately. Incredible success. And with success, in the lock of the week, there comes some pressure. right? And we got to really, really focus and lock down because I came up with this phrase. Let me know if you like this phrase. I came up with this completely with on my own last night. I was in the shower. I think it's great. With great power comes great responsibility. And I accept that responsibility for lock of the week. I put my heart and soul into it. And I look at this matchup, guys. I'm looking at Vaunt picks, Aleksei Oleinik, my guy. And I see some don't do it. I'm telling you right now, I have never in my life been so confident in a lock of the week. This guy, Latifi, his nickname is the Sledgehammer. The guy hasn't knocked anyone out since 2016. And the only way you're going to beat Aleksei Oleinik is probably going to knock him out. What does Latifi do? He is a 2-time Swedish national champion wrestler. He's going to take Oleinik down, and he's going to get submitted. I know he's never been submitted before. He's going to get submitted. That's what happens. You mentioned Oleinik in his last fight versus Spivak. Let's go through that fight. How did the first round end? Oleinik was in full mount threatening a submission against Spivak. Second round, how did the second round end? Oleinik was in full mount against Spivak threatening a submission. Third round, how did it end? Oleinik was throwing bombs, throwing hands, almost knocked the dude out. And that's Sergey Spivak, a 27-year-old huge human. He was able to out-scramble Spivak and was threatening submissions at the end of the rounds. If he had another minute in each round, he probably gets a submission win. This fight is going to be on the ground. Oleinik might end up on his back, could just choke him from his back. He's going to choke him however he wants to. He's probably going to win a scramble, get a head and arm. I can't believe Oleinik is the underdog. I honestly cannot believe he's the underdog in this fight. It's going to go to the ground, and if you go to the ground with Aleksei Oleinik, 59 wins, 46 submissions. 46 submissions. You're going to get submitted. This is lock of the week. I've never been so confident.
Listen, I agree with everything you're saying. The problem is he's 45 years old. That is the concern. That's very old to be in a fist fight. But if Ilir Latifi had any more volume, I'd be worried about it. But we're talking 5 strikes, 10 fights, and 3-round fights.
He doesn't have power.
I'm not as confident as you. But
if I'm Latifi, I come out throwing bombs. Because if you just land a little bomb on Oleinik, he's probably going to go down. And he still might get submitted. But at least he knocked him down instead of taking him down.
I'm not as confident as you, but I completely agree with everything else. DraftKings, I think you got to do it at $7,600. You're basically just chasing a stoppage. That's all you're going to get out of him, because I don't think he wins a decision. I mean, look at the Sergey Spivak fight. He lost that decision. So I don't think he wins a decision, and he could get knocked out because he's 45 years old. But he could also win by submission. So, I mean, $7,600, if you think there's, if you're on the Oleinik side, $7,600 is not a terrible DraftKings price to pay. Obviously, you're going to
I think that first takedown attempt, I think he wins. I mean, he just wins scrambles. He doesn't try. I mean, not very good wrestler, but Jesus Christ, those jits sweeps.
Obviously, he's very good on the ground. Monkey Knife Fight, 43-51. It's definitely less for Ilir Latifi. No freaking shot, that dude. It's probably less, honestly. I think there's a lot of grappling. Ilir Latifi lands 10 punches in 3-round fights. It's probably less for Monkey Knife Fight. Those lines move. Go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. Make a deposit. They'll instantly match it. Hop into Monkey Knife Fight right now. If you like this line, hit the less before it moves, because it will move in the morning as some plays come in. If you guys want $50 free, go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit. Let us know after you do, and we send you $50 as a thank you for supporting us and our partners.